Welcome to Daniel's Inferno. My name is Daniel. Thank you very much for joining me today. If you have a moment, please like, subscribe, share, and join the conversation below. I'd love to hear from you. So today I originally had planned to do a video on Justin Trudeau um, imposing his quixotic desires on businesses here in Canada if they want federal funds. But this story is fairly recent and it really blew me away. So if you can see, as you see on your screen here, a rapper Boosie Badazz claims he paid for sex for his 14-year-old son. So he had someone molest his 14-year-old son and paid them to do it. Boosie bragged about allegedly orchestrating a sexual assault on his own family. The Baton Rouge, Louisiana-based rapper took to Instagram Live to deliver a disturbing, expletive-filled rant. "Hell yeah, I got my effing son D sucked," says Boozy, whose real name is Torrance Hatch Jr., in a 57 clip that has since been posted to Twitter. "I'm training them boys right," Boozy says in the video. "Ask any of my nephews, ask any of them, ask my son. Yeah, when they were 12, 13, they had oral. That's how it's supposed to be." This is the latest in a series of shocking statements made by the father of 8, which some have with which have some calling for his kids to be taken away, citing child sex abuse. In 2017, Set It Off rapper posted a birthday message to his son, also named Torrance, then 14. The caption in part read, "Got a bag for you and a bad bee to give you some oral." In Louisiana, it is illegal to solicit sex workers for anyone over the age of 17 to engage in sex, including oral sex, with anyone under that age. But Boozy, who referred to the sex workers he hired as super grown, seems to admit to these crimes. "They should call CPS on the foolish man," wrote one Twitter user. Let's stop right there. This is absolutely, unequivocally shocking and disgusting. All right? I don't care what some kid in grade 8, grade 9 does with people of their own age. That's none of, that's for parents to police what's going on with their kids. This guy hires someone to abuse his son and, by the sounds of it, his nephews, because he's, as you see, ranting about ask his nephews as well. Now, as someone who has gone through some pretty bad things in his childhood, I can tell you that I would give anything for that not to have happened. So for this father, I'm going to put it in quotes there, to force this on his children, it's horrific. It's unequivocally wrong. And these are the type of people that Child Protective Services need to immediately go after. I mean, especially with his public profile that's brought so much attention to this. And he admits to it himself. He admitted to it himself. Earlier this year, Boozy came under fire for attacking Dwayne Wade's 12-year-old daughter, Zaya, who is transgender. "Don't cut his D off, bro," fumed Hatch to Wade in an Instagram video. "You've gone too effing far." Boozy, who was released from prison in 2014 after doing time for drug charges, filmed the video in Planet Fitness in Georgia. He was later kicked out of the gym for harassing staff. This guy sounds like a gem, an absolute unequivocal gem. Harassing people who are just doing their job at a gym, going after people who are transgender. So obviously, this is the type of person who is a genuine transphobe, is a genuine hater of the LGBTQ community, at least by the sounds of it with his own words. That father, regardless of how we feel about allowing child transitioning, because that's a different topic, he was attacking the the person the individual for allowing his daughter to express themselves. Now, again, I understand that the issue of child transition surgeries that comes up, and I personally don't think that's okay. I think we need to wait until the age of 18 when they are consenting adults to make these decisions. Um, we need to allow people to become fully grown. However, this individual Boozy sounds like a hateful, terrible person. And with 8 kids, 8 children who God only knows the torment that they've had to go through with this guy who was in prison. He's made homophobic statements in interviews too. In 2015, he bemoaned gay something on television in a since deleted Instagram post. One claimed one claim he denies the rumor that he beat up George Zimmerman in a Walmart parking lot, a bizarre idea that circulated last year. What? Who cares? What about the fact what you're putting your children through? That's what's more important. I don't care if you beat up George Zimmerman or not. That's that's neither here nor there. George Zimmerman faced the law, and that's that. You, however, need to face the law. You need to go to prison. You need your children to be put into loving, caring homes. Your status and your money does not make you a loving and a caring parent. All right? You can be a terrible parent who's rich. You can be a terrible parent who's poor. You can be a terrible mother or a terrible father. This guy is horrific. He is a monster, the definition of a monster. So people on Twitter are really losing it. And you know what? For once, I think that this is justified, that people are so upset about this on Twitter. I often myself bemoan how active and how loud Twitter can be with nonsensical comments or posts that really don't follow any sort of logic. But I mean, logically, this guy who admitted to having someone sexually abuse his child, so he was a willing participant in that sexual abuse. I mean, what more is there to say? He came out with the words himself. No one has made these claims on him because that would be a different story. He came out thinking, "Oh, I'm such a good dad. Look at me. Look what I did for my son when he was 13, 12, 13, 14. Look what I let, get my nephews." Trauma. This is horrific. Boosie is so scared of the boys in his family being gay that he admitted to having a grown woman molest them. Imagine being that low of a human being. Very true. Men being okay with what Boosie says just shows never mind. Yeah, I haven't seen people being okay with what Boosie said. Um, I mean, if you do, show me, please. Let me know in the comments if you're all right with what he said. Uh, I'm sorry, I personally think it's unconscionable to be okay with what he said. This Boozy situation is why I hate homophobes, because they quick to say he's too young to know if he like boys, but it's okay to force some lady on him. I don't care what someone says that was wrong with what Boozy did, and if the shoe was on the other foot and it was a little girl getting, uh, her private by a grown man, everyone would lose it. And that's true. Let's not have a double standard here. Minors are minors, end of story, regardless of their gender, of their biological gender. And we need to protect children. We cannot force them into these adult situations with other adults. They need time to grow, be innocent, and we are there to preserve that innocence. Think back to when you were a child. I mean, a lot of us, many of us, I'm sure, had our innocence dropped quickly or quicker than others. But think back, there was still time where you held that childlike innocence, where you held that wonder of the world, where you had a trust for many or most things and people, where, the impossible was possible. And we need to allow that to flourish and grow. They're tiny people. We need to allow them to become grown people so then they can make these decisions for themselves. I mean, I feel like I'm really kind of droning on about the same point, and I apologize. But this man, Boozy, needs to go to prison again. He needs to never be able to have his children back, ever. Where's the mother of these children as well? I mean, where's the female role model in the situation? What are they doing? Were they part of this? Are they even in the picture? Those are questions that I haven't been able to answer. Um, that's mostly tabloid stuff, but it it does relate to this. We have to ask these questions about how was this allowed to happen? Is there no one else out there that loves or cares for these kids that they could take care of them instead of this monster? It's really something to see that's the same people who had a problem with D Wade's fathering are now telling us don't worry about what Boozy does with his son. So why couldn't y'all not worry about Zaya then? Boozy said he paid a grown woman to give his sons oral when they were 12 and 13, and I see people condemning that. This is why I say people pick and choose when they want to stand on by moral principles. Playing around or not even saying that is out of pocket. Okay, I I agree. People do need to be morally and intellectually consistent with what they believe in. We cannot pick and choose, and we've seen that. For example, um, when Kavanaugh, the whole Kavanaugh situation blew up, people were condemning him, saying believe all women. And if that's what you believe, then that's one thing. But then with Joe Biden, with this Tara Reade allegation, we have the same people saying, oh, we got to wait for the evidence. We got to wait and see. This is just an allegation. We can't just let baseless allegations ruin a person's career and life. Be intellectually and morally consistent. I have a I have a code, and I do my damnedest to stand by that code and be consistent with it, calling out wrong where I see wrong, regardless of if it's on the left, the right, the center, it doesn't matter. When something is wrong, it's wrong. And, at least for me, I can just feel it. It can just tell. And this is beyond wrong. I mean, my whole heart and stomach is wrenching over the idea that this man has 8 kids who are under his care. And I mean, if he's willing to do this to his 12, 13-year-old sons and nephews, what else has he let happen to his children? What else has he imposed upon them? What is happening behind closed doors? I mean, I don't want to, I do want to know, but it's horrific and it's something for me at least that it's scary to think about what those kids have had to go through. And that is why they need to be taken away. This man needs to be tried. The evidence needs to be brought forward, and his own statements need to be put against him. What he did was wrong. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm Daniel's Inferno. Have a nice day.